Yes, indeed. I am back, and we are on the ground here at, I said Boeing Field, and we're going to be trying a simulated flight of a real flight I'll be doing later today to Tacoma. It is scheduled to be very beautiful today. It's supposed to be clear skies, light winds from the north. We'll see if I've got that correctly dialed in here in the sim, but we're going to go ahead and see how long it takes me to get from one place to the other. It's just about 9 o'clock in the morning now, so we're going to go ahead and time from that forward and see what it takes to get onto the runway and out into the air and over to Tacoma for a northbound landing on runway 35. It should be quick. It does not take very long to hop over Puget Sound. So we're going to go ahead and assume here that we've done pre-flight, and I'll go ahead and add everything on. I added the time on for pre-flight about 15 minutes to the end here. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have enough fuel. I want to make sure that we are 3/4 full, so 40 gallons on board. There's not a pilot with me today. It's just me. Gross weight and all that look pretty good. And we're going to set this to... There you go. Everything's good. Keys are in. And we'll go ahead and plug in my whatsits here. I think all the RBF stuff is off. I'm going to go ahead and put the battery charger in just for now because it always has a hard time starting up. So before starting, engine pre-flight complete, passenger briefing complete, seats and seatbelts adjusted and locked, parking brake set. I'm actually going to take that off because we don't use that at Galvin. Circuit breakers check in. They're all fine. Electrical equipment off. Avionics power switch off. Fuel selector valve to both. Fuel shut off. Push in. All the way in. Good. Alright, throttle open 1/4 of an inch. Just a little tiny bit like that. Mixture to idle cutoff. Yes, it's to idle cutoff. Master switch on. Groovy. Make sure the beacon's on. It is. Engine prime. Fuel pump on. And rich for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To lean, fuel pump off. Prop area clear. Clear prop. And key to start. And advance slowly as engine fires. Boy, it takes its time, doesn't it? There it goes. That vapor lock is really silly. Okay, battery thingy off. Standby battery. Alright, so make sure the starter is off. It is off. We're at 1300 RPM. I'm going to bring it back down a little bit closer to 1100 just to warm the oil up a little bit. Pressure looks good. Check disengage. Starter, so 1000 RPM oil pressure check. Mixture to lean is required. Lean it out just a little bit. Avionics power switch on. Outstanding. Okay, radios and GPS set, so we're going to go ahead and set for, we want Seattle ground on comm, so 121.9, and the weather is on 12775, so let's go ahead and get the weather. We know we need it.
Boeing Field / Kinko INTL Information Quebec. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 20,000 scattered, 35,000 scattered, temperature 14, dew point -15. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 32 left, 32 right, departing runways 32 left, 32 right. Advise on initial contact, you have Quebec.
Alright, we got the weather, so we're going to go tune ground there, and we're going to go ahead and tune on COM 2, push 120.60, if I remember that right. Yeah, 120.6, because it's the big runway. And we'll go ahead and listen on COM 2. We'll listen on COM 2 as well. We got ground on COM 1. Alright, let's see, what else do we need to know? I'm going to go ahead and set flight plan. Clear. Okay. Direct to K T. Yeah, Finland, right. I W. Roger, roger. Alright, good enough. And let's see, what else? Transponder alt code set. Transponder alt, that's on, and it's squawking VFR, that's correct. Flaps, retract. Yep, flaps are up. Parks, parking brakes, release and test. We'll go ahead and test the brakes. Brakes are good, and lights as required. Taxi, nav, and strobe. Before taxi checklist complete. Alright, let's go. Alright, I'd say something like Boeing Ground, good day, Cessna, November 637. Let's see, what am I flying today? Let me check my ident today. 326 Mike Echo. Alright. I'd say something like Boeing Ground, good morning, Cessna 326 Mike Echo with Quebec at Galvin. Blake departure. Because we're going to be northbound, so I'm going to take the Blake departure. This is something like Cessna 326 Mike Echo, good morning, Boeing Ground, taxi runway 32 left at Alpha 9 via Alpha. Taxi runway 32 left, Alpha 9 via Alpha, 6 Mike Echo. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and get our diagram up here so you can see it. At least I hope you can see it. So let's see, let's take a look here. We want to taxi down to Alpha 9er. We know that's a left turn from where we are. We're looking for runway 32 left at Alpha 9er, so we're not actually using the entirety of the runway. And what's on my right there is Alpha 2. I'll make sure that you're still seeing my screen here. Yep, it looks like you are. That's awesome. Go back to performance mode, so I'm getting a good frame rate. Again, we're going to head to Alpha 9er. They do this sometimes. They'll authorize northbound takeoffs for small aircraft on half of the big runway. So we'll find Alpha 9er. We'll get ourselves lined up. We'll do our run up there. There's actually a little box that's just south of the little runway, so it's a little harrowing if you got a lot of planes coming in right over the top of your head. But it's a clear day today, no traffic, which is not how it works in the real world. But that's all right. It's the fun of Sims, right? All right, you know, and oh, we're timing the real thing here. So that's been 7 minutes for us to get our before taxi checklist complete and ground clearance and off the ramp, so we're on our way to Alpha 9er. And I expect it'll be a busy day today for real. Probably be a couple of folks in the run-up boxes. I'm going to have to be stacked behind somebody for, you know, getting out of there. There's going to be some airplane. There's going to be some big jet traffic we're going to have to watch out for. You know, something. Watch out for that Challenger. Right here around, I think, Alpha 6, Alpha 7, they've got some barricades up on the right-hand side because they're fixing potholes. I saw that yesterday, so we have to be kind of like, and oh my god, my instructor's going to kill me if I'm taxiing this fast. Be like, oh, we got to go to the left, look out, oh, it's a barricade. Alright. You kind of have to just, it's kind of imagine it. It's like, you know, it's kind of right there. You know. Oh, here, I'll turn the tablet off so you know where we're going, right? Okay, there's Alpha 7, so it's gone Alpha 3, 4, 5, right? So there's Alpha 7. There's going to be a little dog leg to the right, and that's where we're going to find Alpha 9er. See Mount Rainier there, so we're going to head this way, north, west, south. That's how we do it around here. Oh, there's 3, 2, right, it says, but we don't want 3, 2, right. We're going to be taking off 3, 2, left, Alpha 9er. Beautiful day, shouldn't have any problem finding where we're going, you know what I mean? Okay, see on the right here is this really big run-up box. So we're going to go ahead and get in there. We're going to point north, give ourselves a little bit of extra room, do our run-up, then right turn around, get lined up, hold short runway. 3, 2 left, halfway up on Alpha 9er. Trust me, I've done this before. Alright, let our nose wheel center out a little bit. And we're just going to poke right up here. There you go. And get it up to 1,000 so that I don't starve the engine too much. Right. Alright, before takeoff, so this is going to be our run up here. Parking brake set. I'm using the regular brakes. Passenger seat backs most upright. Feels pretty good. Seats and seat belts checked secure. Yep, feels good. Cabin doors closed and locked. Yep, that one looks pretty good. Okay. Flight control's free and correct, so we're going to do the box. It's going to be all the way left, all the way back, all the way right, all the way forward, and that's full deflection. And right there it hits my little gear shift lever, which isn't great, but that's how it is. Electric trim and autopilot test. So we're going to trim electric. Bzzzt, bzzzt. Electric trim works, and we're going to go ahead and turn, let's see, 1, 2, 3 as the heading bug. No, that's not the heading bug. That's the heading bug. Why is that not working? Oh, okay, there we go. No, that's not it either. Because that's for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright. Alright, heading. We'll set that to our left. We're going to show this guy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press Autopilot on. And there it goes. It turns. I can override it, and I can press AP Disco. And there we go. Autopilot tested. Autopilot and trim are good. Set heading. Reset the heading bug straight ahead. Actually set it to 3, 2. Okay. Elevator trim set for takeoff. It is. Fuel quantity check. Looks good. Looks like 44 gallons. Let's just call it 40. Flight instruments check and set. Altimeters are set for the field. There's 299 inches. The backup altimeter is set correctly. I can see that the field elevation's in there. Backup is neutral. Flight director, or excuse me, the primary flight display instruments look good. Fuel selector valve, recheck both. We are on both. Mixture to rich. Push that mixture all the way forward and throttle to 1800 RPM. Alright, good. And Magneto test, drop of 100 there. I'll show you. And both. And RPMs back up. And to right, drop of 100, same as the other one. And back up on both. RPM comes back up. That's good. VAC is right where it should be. Oil temperature and pressure are in the green. Fuel flow looks good. Check the amps.
Approaching runway 14 right, 32 left.
The amp meter isn't doing anything, but it's supposed to. It's probably because the backup battery is taking charge, but make sure everything is on there. We're good. Annunciator panel. We don't have, well, non-illuminated. We have an annunciator. It's this guy. Fine. No big cautions. Everything's good. And throttle to idle. We'll get down to 600. Okay, good. Comfortable idle. Back up to 1,000. Throttle friction set. Lights as required. I'll turn on landing lights in a minute. Radios and avionics set. So we have set our GPS to Tacoma. Now what I'm going to do is instead of 127,750 here, because we don't need the weather at excuse me, we don't need the weather at BFI, but what we do want the weather for is KTIW. So we're going to press airports. KTIW Tacoma Narrows is already there. ATIS is 12405. So I'm going to pre-dial the weather. 12405. Let me see, we might be able to hear it already.
Tacoma Narrows.
Yes, I can. So that's good. And then on COM 2, 12060 is the tower at Seattle, and we're going, or tower at Boeing. We're going to tune Tacoma Tower 118.5, and that's going to be Tacoma. So we're all set to switch over the comms once we get there. I will not be using nav radios. I'll be using GPS and visual to verify where we are. And our alt code is set on the transponder. We will not be using flight following, so we're good there. Radios and avionics are set. Autopilot is off. Transponder is set 1200 with altitude reporting and parking brake release. As I said, right turn. And let the nose wheel even out, and here we are on the line. Get back up to 1,000 RPM to keep the engine going nice and easy. And we're going to go ahead and switch over. So tower is 1206, and it's on COM 2, so we'll switch to COM 2 mic. All right. Boeing Tower, good day. Cessna 326 Mike Echo holding short runway 32 left at Alpha 9. Blake departure. And they'd say Cessna 326 Mike Alpha, or Cessna 326 Mike Echo, Blake departure approved. Clear for takeoff runway 32 left. Clear for takeoff 32 left. Blake departure approved. 6 Mike Echo. And that's that. Landing lights on. Let's take the runway. Let's go, go, go. And time is 16 past the hour. And so, you know, with 15 minutes of pre-flight or so, then it'd be half past. So that's not too bad. Let's see how we're doing. And again, we only have half the runway, but we really only need half. Let's get upstairs. Kick in a little bit of that right rudder, counteract the left turning tendency. Airspeed is live. We're looking for 55 knots, and up we go. And we're going to climb for VY. VY in this airplane is 74. And we want to make sure that we're good in the line of the runway. We are. We got just the right amount of rudder kicked in. Maybe just a little bit less, actually. All right, there we go. 400. And we're going to turn for Blake Island once we're, I don't know, I call it about 800 or so. Make a left-hand turn. There's Blake Island right there. And we're going to put the nose down, try to stay under 1100 for now. We want to not climb aggressively until we're past the land here, just over the water near the ferry terminal. So speed's going to come up a little bit. We want to let it come up, but we don't want to climb. Got to keep that nose to the horizon. There we go.
Approaching runway 14 right, 32 left.
So on the left there is, that's Vashon, and this is Blake right here. We point right at Blake Island. That's what we do. We're going to get over the land here, get over to the water, and then we can climb to 1500. Now, since Tacoma Narrows is down south here, and it's not very far, we are not going to have to climb too high. I'll go ahead, and as soon as I make that left turn for a close enough heading, and I'm going to go ahead and check my tablet and make sure I know what that is. Hang on just a second. Go ahead and hit heading roll and altitude hold mode and autopilot on. There we go. That's going to give me just a moment. Navlog, KBFI to KTIW.
Approaching runway 14, entered runway 14 right, 32 left.
I don't know why this is so behind. It really bothers me. Anyway, it's going to be 178 magnetic, so I'm going to go ahead and set my heading to 178. Oh my god, it's going to take forever. And I'm going to give it a little bit of goose it to the left a little bit. 178 magnetic. And I'll go ahead, take it off autopilot. I'm going to start a climb to 1500. And we're crossing out of the shelf there. Was I looking? No, I wasn't. Okay, altitude hold mode, engaged. And we'll bring that throttle back. Alright, to our left there is going to be Vashon, so you don't want to be looking at where the airplane is here because it's so behind. But where we basically are is right here, so we're going to go ahead and start in just a minute as we cross the
Destination ATIS is 12.
Be quiet. We're going to go ahead and start a left-hand turn on heading 178 magnetic, and then it's going to be 16 nautical miles to Tacoma, which is really not that far at all. So go ahead and hit heading mode now. It's going to be a left turn. I suppose I could afford to go up to 2500. So we'll hit vertical speed mode. Nose up at 800. Give it some gas. That's just going to give us a little bit more time to respond. Pattern altitude at Tacoma is 1300 anyway, so I want to be able to have a little bit of altitude when I come back down. Okay, enough of looking at the tablet. You don't need to see that. Again, we are now So it's 17 miles. Our current ground speed looks like 99 knots, so 17 miles at about 1.5 miles a minute is 17 minutes minus half of 17, which is about 8, so about, let's just call it 9 or 10 minutes to get to KTIW. Let's go ahead and tune the weather. Go ahead and get my scratch pad out. COM 1 weather, and we'll go ahead and listen to COM 1.
Tacoma Narrows Information Quebec. 2100 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 19,500 scattered, 34,500 scattered, temperature 14, dew point -15. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 35, departing runway 35. Advise on initial contact, you have Quebec.
Cool. We can turn off COM 1, and we're out of Boeing's range, so I'll go ahead and switch COM 2. Switch COM 2 and push tower. So tower is good. I'm going to go ahead and do another direct now. Okay, purple line shows 6 minutes 43 seconds. That's pretty good. We're making good time, and we're right on course. Let me range out a little bit and see if I actually am on course. I am! Look at that! So we're just shooting the gap right between the two. So Tacoma Narrows is actually going to be straight ahead on, so we go up the channel here, and straight ahead is going to be Tacoma Narrows. Now, as I said, it's runway 35, so we're heading exactly the opposite direction. So what we want to do, take a look at the map here. Tacoma Narrows 35. So I'll just draw it. Tacoma Narrows, runway 35. 35 is right traffic, so they're going to tell us to enter a right downwind. I'll go ahead and just do an extended downwind, doot, 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 like that. Okay, see there's the Tacoma Narrows bridge right there, so we'll use that as a visual reference. We'll have Tacoma Narrows be essentially on our right, and right turns all the way in. We'll land runway 35. $10 miles, 5.5 minutes. Not bad, eh? Eh? I'm actually just checking out my YouTube channel right now to see if there's anybody on the chat. Maybe there is. Ah, Jessica Ryan. Might still be here. Hello. Connected to AirPlay. Okay. And Jessica asks, how the lessons going? How am I doing today? Doing great. Lessons are awesome. Having a great time out there. Just finished up a flight where I was going to go to Hoquiam, but I diverted and landed at Tacoma last night, so that was actually all right. Okay, so we're 7.4 miles. It's time to go ahead and call KTIW. So 118.5, tower is dialed in. We'll make sure we're on COM 2. We are on COM 2, Mike. So we could say, let's see, FPL, not navlog. Tacoma Tower, good day, Cessna, November 326, Mike Echo, 6.5 miles north of the field, altitude 2,500, full stop. I'm going to say 326, Mike Echo, fly right downwind, runway 35, cleared for landing. Fly right downwind, 35, clear for landing, 6 Mike Echo. Cool. and I see the field, so that's awesome. So we're actually already on essentially an extended downwind, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the throttle back. We're going to head down to pattern altitude, which is 1,300, and we'll get to pattern altitude, pattern speed, and then we'll run our pre-landing checklist. So it's just as simple as that. Now, normally in the real world, I'd be able to see the bridge. I'm sure it'll just sort of pop in here at some point. I will get down to pattern altitude and we will take it from there. So I want to descend at about 700 feet per minute. Okay, I think I see the bridge. We're just, well, it's the shadow of the bridge. We're just really high. So coming on down. All right. Coming on down to pattern altitude. No problem. All right, and there's pattern altitude, 1,300. Go ahead and give the throttle a little boost. And leveled off 1,300. Set the heading bug to 3.5. There we go. And we're going to go ahead. That's Tacoma Narrows, but man, that is not how the bridge looks. It's so much prettier than that. Oh, but anyway. Alright, so we're doing just a little bit of a climb to get back to pattern altitude while I bleed the speed off so we can get within the white arc to deploy the first notch of flaps and be at pattern speed. It looks like something out of Sim City, man, I swear. That does not look good. That is not what the Tacoma Narrows Bridge looks like, and I am disappointed. And I'm also disappointed in Microsoft Flight Simulator's interpretation of it because it's got a big old land block sticking underneath it. So I was just really sad about that. I'm kind of hoping that they're going to fix that in a future update. Anyway, here we are at pattern altitude, and we're just about where we need to be with speed. Bleed off a little bit more. White arc. And we're at pattern speed. Halfway up the strut. Looking good on our distance from the runway. Probably actually could have been a little bit further to the east. Now that I think about it, anywhere past the numbers, one notch of flaps, and pre-landing checklist. So make sure we're on both tanks. Yes, fuel shutoff is in, mixture is full rich. Keys are on both, master is on, lights are all on as required, autopilot is off, seats and seat belts are fastened. So we're doing 75 and we're looking for... And over here is Fox Island, that's McNeil over there. And we're coming down. I want to get to about 85. And I'm gonna go ahead and start my base turn. Second notch of flaps. Use that electric trim. I have a feeling it's going to be sort of a constant turn. Maybe not. No, not really. No, I got a little bit of crosswind. I got a few moments at crosswind. That's good. And we're 200 feet below pattern altitude. I have a feeling we're going to come in high on this one, but that's Maybe that's better than low. I don't know. Yes, I do know, and yes, it is. All right, start that turn for final. I think it's going to be a little bit of a steep one. 3 notches of flaps, electric trim to compensate, push the nose down. All right, 2 whites, so we're definitely high. Do a little forward slip. There we go. Lost a little bit of altitude, kept the speed, dropped that throttle. Okay, 65. Okay, there's red over white. We're on glide path. Give it a little bit more throttle. .65 airspeed is good. .326 Mike Echo, turn next taxiway, monitor ground, 0.8. Turn next taxiway, monitor ground, 0.86 Mike Echo. This used to be way more detailed. Wonder what happened. Maybe it never was, and maybe I've always been landing this at Microsoft Flight Simulator. Anyway, they're going to say, let's see, 121.8. Alright, and we're going to do our after landing checklist. Flaps up, transponder, alt 1200, yes, mixture, lean as required. Pull that out a little bit, lights as required, landing light off, trim set for takeoff. Alright. Tacoma ground, good day, Cessna 326 Mike Echo. Taxi to Narrows Aviation. 326 Mike Echo, taxi via Alpha, then Bravo 2. Alpha, then Bravo 2, 6 Mike Echo. Plates, arrival, KTIW, airport. Okay, left turn. Tablet there, left turn, and then right on Bravo 2. There's supposed to be buildings and all kinds of stuff here. There's a cafe that I'm supposed to be near. Narrows Aviation's here. I can get fuel if I need to.
1 mile final runway 35.
Oh my gosh, this fake GPS is so behind, and that's a recent thing. I don't know why it's busted like that, but it is. Anyway, like the tower's not anywhere here either. Like it's some kind of untowered airport. It's ridiculous. This is not what Tacoma Narrows looks like, people. Okay, right. So 35 after plus 15 will be there at 250. So it's 2 o'clock, 2:15. Yeah. Oh wow, and local actually says right on the money at 3 o'clock. So, yeah. That worked. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go see how long it takes to get back. So the way this is going to work, because I'm trying to meet somebody at Tacoma Narrows, is I would shut the aircraft down. So I'm going to go ahead and do a shutdown. Avionics master switch off. Electrical equipment off except beacon. Idle cutoff. Ignition switch off. Master switch off. We'll turn the standby battery off. There we go. And control lock installed. Fuel selector valve to the left. Alright, so I go out. We have a nice little meeting. Hi, how are you? Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to open this little guy. There we go. We'll put the cooler in there. See that? We got the little cooler. That's Mom's famous something she's making for me. I think it's going to be great. I think there's a beef dish and a chicken dish in there. So we're like, hey, how are you? How are you doing? All right. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. All right. Done. We get back. We've said our goodbyes. It's wonderful. Open the window. Close the door. She's out there on the observation platform. She's going to watch me take off. It's going to be great. So let's assume now the time is skipped ahead. It's 15 minutes later. It's 3:15. So what's it take to get back? Run it again. Preflight complete. We know we've already done it today. Passenger briefing complete. Let's say that we don't need fuel, so we'll be all right. Seats and seat belts adjusted and locked. Sure. Parking brake is set. No, it's not. We're not using it. I'm going to stand on it. Circuit breakers check in. Electrical equipment is off. Yes, it is. Avionics power switch is off. Fuel selector valve to both. And fuel shut off. We don't use that. Just make sure that that's in. Throttle open 1/4 of an inch. Just a little bit. Mixture to idle cutoff. It is. Master switch on. Beacon on. Yep, verified on. Engine prime omit for warm start. It's a warm start, so yes, we don't need to prime it. Alright, prop area clear. Clear prop. Oh yeah. There we go. Nice warm start. Not a problem. All right, back it down to 1,000 RPM. Oil pressure check is in the green. Before taxi, mixture lean as required. Avionics power switch on. All right, good deal. Let's make sure we've still got the same weather. I suppose I shouldn't have done that. What's the weather here? 124.05.
Tacoma Narrows information Romeo.
Oop, it's changed.
2200 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 19,500 scattered, 34,500 scattered, temperature 14, dew point -15. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 35, departing runway 35. Advise on initial contact you have Romeo.
Cool. And we got 12180 and 118.5 in the radios, so this is ground, this is tower, so I'll go ahead and prep 127.75 for the
Boeing field slash.
Yep, okay, that's Boeing weather, and then 12060 is Boeing tower, so we got ground tower here and weather tower there. So radios are set. I'm gonna do nearest KBFI direct, activate. Cool. Alright, what else? Radio's GPS set. Yes, ATIS altimeter received and set 2992. Transponder, alt code set 1200 alt. Flaps retract. They are retracted. Parking brakes release test. Alright, we'll go ahead and test our brakes. Turn that tablet off. Brakes work. Lights as required. Taxi, nav, and strobe are on. Before taxi checklist is complete. Alright, let's go ahead and get on the line and give ground a call. We're getting out of here. Got some food in the back. And we're looking for that we're looking for that taxi hold line, which is right here. So we're going to pull up to that. And even that nose wheel out and give ground a call. Tacoma Drown, good day, Cessna 326 Mike Echo with Romeo, northbound departure. I'm going to say 326 Mike Echo, taxi to runway 35 via Bravo, then Alpha. Or what would it be? They'd say, and I should say at Narrows Aviation, Bravo 2, so they'd say, taxi via Bravo 2, then Alpha, Alpha 4. Taxi runway 35, Bravo 2 Alpha, then Alpha 4, 6 Mike Echo. As you can see here, you can check the tablet. We got our diagram out. We're taking a left turn because this is Bravo 2. We want to head. So this is on Alpha, I do believe. We're going to take a look and see. Runway 1725, they're not marked as such, but I'm going to tell you that these are Alphas, and we're looking for the southernmost Alpha. That's Alpha 4. Like I said, it's not marked here in the sim, but it does work. It's Alpha 4. Give it a little more gas here. Not much more gas, a little more gas. Well, they got the two little lines here. They got that right anyway. This is Alpha 4. So we're going to go ahead, point this way. It's not exactly north, but winds are calm, so I'm not super worried about it. All right. Give it a little bit of gas just to keep it alive here. Before takeoff checklist, parking brake is set. No, but I'm standing on the brakes. Passenger seat backs most upright. We are most upright. Seats and seatbelts check secure. Cabin doors closed and locked. Close that window. That one's closed. Flight controls free and correct. Left and all the way deflected, and right, and all the way deflected the other way, and center, and boop, I hit that little gear control. We know that. Free and correct. Electric trim and autopilot test. Electric trim. Electric trim works correctly. Plug my radio in. Where was I? Autopilot test. All right, we've got the heading bug set over there, so I'm going to press heading mode on and autopilot. Yes, it moves the stick. Yes, I can override it if I need to, and AP disconnect. Autopilot tested. Elevator trim set for takeoff. It is. Fuel quantity check. We used a little bit of fuel there, but we're looking good. We're just under 20 pounds, so we'll call it 19 in each tank. It's 38 pounds. That's over half. We are doing dandy. Flight instruments check and set. Altimeter is set for the field, 29902. I see 280. That's right where we should be. Backup altimeter shows the same. Neutral, neutral, and neutral on the primary flight display. Fuel selector valve recheck both. It is on both. Mixture to rich. Okay, there we go. Throttle to 1800 RPM. And with 1800, we're going to go ahead and click right magneto or left magneto. It drops by about 110. That's fine. Less than 150 is good. And that's fine. Back up to both, and we see RPM recover to 1800. Engine instruments check. Oil pressure, temperature good. VAC is in the green. Fuel flow looks good. Ammeter check. We're going to try, but it doesn't really do anything. But I do need to arm my standby battery. Annunciator. Any lights? No alerts worth noting. Throttle to idle. Pretty happy idle. That's fine. Up to 1000. Throttle friction set. Lights as required. Yes, they are for now. Radios and avionics set. We've already done our setting of the tower frequency. We know our GPS is set where it needs to be. It's a direct to KBFI. Autopilot off. Yes, it is off. Transponder code set alt 1200 alt, and we are receiving. Parking brake release. Before takeoff checklist complete. Switch to COM 2. Tacoma Tower, good day. Cessna 326, Mike Echo, holding short runway 35, northbound departure. Let's say 326, Mike Echo, northbound departure approved. Takeoff, clear for takeoff, runway 35. Clear for takeoff 35, northbound departure approved, 6 Mike Echo. Landing lights on, let's take the field, let's go. Got the heading bug set to 350. All right, let's go. All right, airspeed's alive. Looking for 55. There it is. Let's go. And climb for VY, which is 74. We'll fly back at about 2,500 feet. That's going to be our target altitude. As we climb out, keeping that at nice VY. Let's take a look and make sure we're on extended center line. Not too bad. I think we can give it just a little bit. Release that right rudder just a little bit. Alright, as we climb out, we're going to go ahead. We're not following the purple line. We're going to fly north, cut the channel between Vashon on the right and the land on the left. And then we'll cut over when we can see the north tip of Vashon. It's not going to be long. We only have 18 miles between us and Boeing Field as the crow flies. And we'll stay on this frequency for a little bit. He'll probably release me fairly soon, and just keep climbing. Oh, sure, they get the power lines right, but they can't do a beautiful bridge to save their lives. Still climbing for 2,500. Climb checklist. Make sure we're good. Oil pressure and oil temperature in the green. Both. Fuel shutoff is in. Mixture is full rich. Keys in both. Master is on. Climb for 2,500. I can take a slightly bigger bite because we're not quite at VY just yet.
Approaching runway 35.
Oh, you're killing me. I overclimbed.
Entered runway 35. 5,000 feet remaining.
Push the nose down. Lose a little bit of altitude. Gain a little bit of speed. Another click of trim here. There we go, and we'll go ahead and throttle back to about 2,400. And we'll set it to roll and altitude hold, and AP is on. So I'm just pointing right at the north tip of Vashon here because that's what we really want to do. Gonna undo that rudder I had kicked in there. I wasn't coordinated, but I am now. Alrighty. Range out a little bit so you can see what we're doing. So there's Seattle, and then Boeing Field is just past that. You can probably see Seattle out there somewhere. Ground speed 116 knots, so we're flying. That's just great. Back off the RPMs just a skosh. Keep it in the green, make sure we're not overrunning the engine there. Feeling pretty happy with all of this. Alright, well, we got a minute. Let's go ahead and get the weather at KBFI. So we'll go ahead and clear the old scratch pad here. KBFI, and listen on COM 1.
Boeing Field / Kingco INTL Information Romeo. 2200 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 20,000 scattered, 35,000 scattered, temperature 14, dew point -15. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 32 left, 32 right, departing runways 32 left, 32 right. Advise on initial contact, you have Romeo.
Booyah. We'll go ahead and pre-dial ground. We know it's 121.9er. And that's on COM 1. And we'll just keep COM 1 off for now, and we're on COM 2. And they say something like, Tacoma Narrows traffic, 326 Mike Echo, Tacoma Narrows traffic. You're exiting my airspace. Frequency change approved. Frequency change approved. Thank you, Tacoma, for 6 Mike Echo. Alright, and we'll switch over to Boeing, COM 2, Boeing Tower, 120.6. And now we're ready to go. We are ready to call Boeing Tower when we are right there on the north tip of Vashon. 115 knots, rocking and rolling here. It shows as 1519, so if you add 15 minutes to that, we'll be 35 minutes past the hour, and getting ready to make our approach into KBFI. We need to be on the ground and the plane checked in at the top of the hour. So I'd like to essentially be in the pattern no later than 45 minutes past the hour. That's kind of the way I look at it. And I'd say that that's more than possible, given where we are now and the speed at which we're moving. I'm going to go ahead and descend now. I'm going to go ahead and bring it on down to 1500. Down we go. Weird. Alright, and we're on COM2, towers dialed in on COM2. Boeing Tower, good day, Cessna 326, Mike Echo over Vashon with Romeo, full stop. 326 Mike Echo, fly the Vash on arrival, runway 32 left. Fly the Vash on arrival, runway 32 left, 6 Mike Echo. Alright, they told us what to do, they told us where to go, they said fly the Vash on arrival, and the Vash on arrival is, we are going to head toward Lincoln Park, which is just near the ferry dock, and we're going to descend down to 1100 as we cross over the hill here, and then we're going to aim midfield Boeing, right turn up the down the Duwamish, southbound at 800 feet, and then left turns. So it's left downwind for runway 32 left, and they might change us to the little runway. As a matter of fact, I will ask. Turn off autopilot. Boeing Tower 326 Mike Echo, can we get the little runway for this? It'd be like 326 Mike Echo, Roger, enter, fly the Vash on arrival, enter left downwind for runway 32 right. Fly the Vash on arrival, left downwind for 32 right, 6 Mike Echo. So yes, we got the little runway. Hooray! All right, so we're descending. We want to get down. We gotta get down, as the man says. So there's 1400. We're looking for 1100. Trying to point midfield KBFI, but we're going to lose it. It's going to go underneath the hill here, so we won't see it till we pop over the hill again. But you do this thing the way you do this thing. That's the Vash on arrival for you. That's the Broadway melody. They say maybe 1,000 feet. I think it makes me nervous. I don't want to hit stuff up here. So you get what I'm talking about, right? I'm gonna go ahead and dial the heading bug to 3.2 just so we've got it. There we go, heading bug at 3.2. So we're flying kind of a 45-ish to midfield. There's 1,000 right there, so kick that throttle up. $25 plus 15 for that for hanging out is 40. So we're doing good. We got 5 minutes to basically get established on the pattern here, and I don't think that's any problem at all. No problem at all. Huey Lewis looking guy in Die Hard. Alright, so I'm looking at midfield stuff here. Got some runways. Got the tower, kind of pointing at the tower there, you see. This is the Duwamish, so as we cross the Duwamish, we want to get down to 800 feet and follow the Duwamish. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling back the old speed here. And make that turn. Get down to 800. Get on the reciprocal of the runway. Again, we're going to be flying 32 right, which is the small runway. So we're going to want to make sure that we're on that. Alright, reciprocal is 14. We're just about on 14. We're about at 800. Looking for the small runway. We're past the numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and get the speed down into the white arc. Pull up, stabilize. 1 notch flaps. Alright, there we go. Stabilized, and we're going to watch for the small runway to... I'm going to go ahead and look at the numbers here. So just at the extended threshold there, I can start my turn. I'm doing 80, 800 feet. I don't want to be climbing. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and start my turn to base. Another notch of flaps. So what have we not done yet? We haven't done our before landing checklist. So I'll get on base. Before landing checklist, make sure both fuel shutoffs in, mixture is rich, keys are in both, master is on. All right. Lights are on, seatbelts are fastened, and we've got red over white. Arrest that descent. Got full flaps.
500.
Cessna 326 Mike Alpha, Mike Echo, clear to land runway 32 right. Clear to land 32 right, 6 Mike Echo. .26 Mike Echo, turn when able, contact ground point niner. Turn when able, contact ground point niner, 6 Mike Echo. So I'll go ahead and go all the way down to Alpha 2. It's faster taxi if you're on the runway to let me decide where I want to get off. That's fine. Put the flaps all the way up while I'm thinking about it. They're coming up. That's awesome. Okay, get my plate out. Yeah, this is Alpha 2. And dial ground. Com 1, ground, 121.9. Com 1 mic. We'll listen to that as we run our after landing checklist. Flaps up, yes. Transponder, alt 1200, yes. Mixture, lean as required. Pull a little bit lean. Lights as required. Landing lights off. Trim set for takeoff. Use the electric trim. Brrr. There you go. After landing checklist complete. Good afternoon, Boeing Ground Cessna 326 Mike Echo Alpha 2 Galvin. 326 Mike Echo, taxi Galvin via Alpha. Taxi Galvin via Alpha, 6 Mike Echo. Nice day, open the windows. Whoa. What are you doing, Charles? See a spot here in the third row. Okay, shut down. Avionics master switch off. Electrical equipment off except beacon. Mixture idle cutoff. Keys to off. Switch off. Master off. Control lock installed. Fuel selector valve to left. Go ahead and put in all the RBFs and chocks, tie downs. And pull out those keys. Yeah, I was hoping I could install the control lock. Maybe there isn't one for this guy. And that's that. Pull this stuff off. We're tied down good to go, and that was essentially 45 minutes after, so that still gives me 15 minutes to spare to check it in. So I think I did it. I think I can do it for real, and it's supposed to be just as beautiful in real life as it is today in the sim, so I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a good old time. Thanks for hanging with me during this experiment that's going to soon be in real life. Take care. Until next time.